Habaragani. What's the word? On the sixth night, the word is Ka'umba, which means creativity. To do as much as we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. To demonstrate Ka'umba, the principle of creativity, we have Fred Motley, a master storyteller based in Danville, Virginia. He is known as the modern griot, who keeps the African oral tradition alive. Fred Motley is an actor, director, and has spent his career teaching others about African American history, dance, and music. He continues to share stories from all around the world. He will be accompanied by his son, Bo, and master drummer, Alan Boyd. The International Civil Rights Center and Museum is proud to present Fred Motley, Ka'umba.
Storytelling time. Storytelling time. Na 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 na. Woo! Storytelling time. And now, the very first story can be told. And this story is about a very, very clever turtle. Listen. 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 Early one morning, the farmer went out to check on his corn. And when he got there, he saw that all of his corn had been eaten up. And at the very edge of the field was a turtle with a big smile on his face. Well, he ran back to the village and he said, come see what's been done to our corn. And they all went out to the field. Sure enough, all of that corn was eaten up. Well, they got that old turtle, took him back to the village. And they said, what shall we do? What shall we do? And they thought. And they thought. Somebody said, I know. Let's make some turtle soup. Yeah, they all agreed. Let's make some turtle soup. Well, somebody started a great big fire. Somebody else went and got some water and came back and poured that water in that big pot. Well, that fire just a-blazing, that water just a-boiling. Got ready to take old Turtle and to put him in the pot. Turtle looked at that fire. He looked at that boiling water. He looked at all of those people around him and he knew he had to think quick. So he said, oh, no. This is too good for me. For what I've done to your corn, I deserve worse than this. But please, no matter what y'all do, don't take me down to the river and throw me in, because y'all know we ain't gonna survive. Ooh. They looked at that turtle and at each other and they said, he ain't afraid of no boiling water. What shall we do? What shall we do? And they thought, I know. Let's take the turtle out into the desert and leave him. Whoa, they all thought that was a very, very good idea. So they got that old turtle and they all started out into the desert. Chick-a-ding, 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 ding, a chick-a-ding, 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 ding, a chick-a-ding, 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 ding, a chick-a-ding, chick-a-ding, chick-a-ding. Well, that sun was hot. Everybody was sweating. Got ready to leave old Turtle, and Turtle looked at that hot sand, looked at that hot sun, looked at all those people looking at him, and he knew he had to think real quick. So he said, oh, no, 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 no. This is too good for me. For what I done to your corn, I deserve worse than this. But please, no matter what you do, don't y'all take me down to the river and throw me in, because I ain't gonna survive. Ooh. They said to each other, he ain't afraid to be left out here in the sun. What shall we do, y'all? What shall we do, y'all? And they thought, I know, said one. Let's take the turtle down to the river and throw him in. Oh, they all thought that was a great idea. They got that old turtle, and they all started down to the river, just a chanting. Turtle to the river, turtle to the river, turtle to the river, turtle to the river. And when that turtle saw that river getting close, he started begging, please don't put me in that river, y'all. Please don't put me in that river, y'all. Please don't put me in that river, y'all. And when they got down to that river, oh, they grabbed old turtle and they lifted him up. They lift him higher. They lift him higher. And then they let him sink right down to the very bottom of the river. Oh, they looked at each other, smiling at each other, patting each other on the back. And one of them said, I bet you no other turtle will dare come and eat our corn after they find out we throw turtles in the river. And then they heard the water go, turtle head came up. Water went, his neck came up. Water went, pretty soon he was sitting on top of the water with a big smile at his face. He looked at all those people and said, thank you, and swam away. Because he was a very clever old turtle. He swam away because he was a very, very clever old turtle. I want you to do something for me. I want you to bring your hands up like this. Then I want you to bring them down. I want you to turn your hands over. I want you to make a fist, turn them back over, bring them up to your eyes. I want you to do your eyes like this, and I want you to do your eyes like this. Then I want your hands to come out, and I want you to flutter over here, flutter over there, flutter back and forth, and put your hands on your hips. I want one hip to slip, shake it. Other hip to slip, shake it, and then shake it all over. Help me if you would, please. Little Sally Walker sitting in the saucer, rise, Sally, rise, wipe your weeping eyes, fly to the east, fly to the west, fly to the one that you love the best. I put your hands on your hips and let backbone slip. Now shake it to the east, shake it to the west, shake it to the one that you love the best. story called The Magic Tree. Magic Tree, about two brothers born as twins, Laumba and Mafunga. Laumba grew to be big and strong. Mafunga did not. There was much love for Laumba, none for Mafunga. Feeling that he was not loved, Mafunga decided that he might as well run away. And so that night, while everyone slept, Mafunga got into his canoe and ran away on the river. He rowed and he rowed until he came upon a big tree right in the middle of the river. While the tree was so big, he could not get around it. And so he pulled up to the tree and he began to pull on the branches of the tree, and leaves fell from the branches. When the leaves hit the water, they turned into people. One of those people was the princess. She said to herself, I should thank him for freeing my people. I should marry him. She said, but I am a princess and he is so ugly. But she looked at her people and she touched a charm on her neck. And she looked at Mafunga. And Mafunga became big and strong and handsome. She smiled. I will marry him, but he is in rags. And so she touched the charm on her neck again. She looked at Mafunga, and Mafunga was replenished in beautiful garments. All of the people moved to the land on the side of the river, and they began to build a village. You could hear singing all of the time in the village. You could smell the aroma of food cooking in the air. You could hear laughter all of the time. And the people loved Mafunga. They would say, I love you, Mafunga. I love you, Mafunga. I love you, Mafunga. Lots of laughter. Lots of delicious aroma in the air from the cooking pots. Lots of, Daddy, I love you. Daddy, I love you. Mafunga was truly loved. But every now and then the princess saw Mafunga sitting on the edge of the river on the tree stump. And she could tell that Mafunga was longing to go back to his home. And so she said to him, Mafunga, you need to go back. But Mafunga, you must never ever tell anyone about the magic tree. For if you do, all will be lost. All of the people gathered and they filled Mafunga canoe with fruits and riches. They did not want him to go, but they all knew he had to go. And as they pushed him out into the little water, they says, hurry back, hurry back, hurry back, hurry back, hurry back. And the princess said to him in his ear, you must never ever tell anyone about the magic tree, for if you do, all will be lost. They waved as Mafunga paddled back up the river. He paddled back up to the river. And finally he approached his village. And as he was moving along the water, people came to the riverside and said, who is that? Who is that? Mafunga pulled up into his mother's house. His mother looked. Mafunga, is that you? Mafunga got out of his canoe, carrying all of the fruit and the riches into his mother's house. His brother looked at him. His mother looked at him. His mother said, Mafunga, you never told us how you came upon these riches. Mafunga wanted to impress her, opened his mouth and says, I ran away from home. Shh. A voice says, no, Mafunga, you must never ever tell anyone about the magic tree. After they had eaten and his mother had gone to bed, his brother says to him, Mafunga, you never told us how you came upon these riches. Mafunga looked at him. He was the one that got all of the attention. He was the one that grew big and strong. He was the one that got all of the fruit. He was the one that got all of the love. And Mafunga looked at him and wanted to impress. He said, I ran away from home. I traveled down the river. I came upon a tree. That tree was so wide I could not get around it. I pulled on the branches. Leaves fell from the branches into the water, and the leaves turned into people. One of those people was the princess. She married me. Look at me. I am now big and strong, and I am truly loved. And the wind came upon the shutters, fluttered them, and the voices raised down the river. And Mafunga heard, no, Mafunga, don't tell anyone. Please, Mafunga, don't tell anyone. No, Mafunga. Mafunga, realizing what he had did, ran, jumped in his canoe, and started to paddle as the voices says, no, Mafunga, please, Mafunga, no, Mafunga, don't. No, Mafunga, please, Mafunga, don't tell anyone. Oh, Mafunga, why? Oh, Mafunga, why? You must never ever tell anybody about the magic tree, for if you do, all will be lost. No, Mafunga, no, Mafunga, please, Mafunga, don't. Oh, no, Mafunga, no, Mafunga, no, Mafunga, don't. Please, no, Mafunga, no, Mafunga, no, Mafunga. And as Mafunga turned around the bend, where his village was, all was gone. As he stepped up on the sand and fell to his knees, he heard in the distance the princess says, Mafunga! Don't you know we love you? Don't you know we love you? Now Mafunga, all is lost. We have to be very careful about how we give our love. Because sometime in the process of trying to get someone, impress someone to love you who truly do not love you, in the process you can hurt, even destroy those who truly do love you. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little water now. Bring me a little water, Sylvie, every little once in a while. Can't you hear me calling you, girl? Calling you out loud. I need a little water every little once in a while. See if it comes a-running. She got buckets in her hand. She said, I will bring you water fast as I can. Oh, bring me a little water, Sylvia, yeah. Bring a little water now. I need a little water every now and then. He calls out to her, girl, don't you hear me calling you? Oh, I'm calling you right now. I need a little water, Sylvie, every now and then. Yeah, bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little water, girl. Bring me a little water. Bring me a little water. Story about old friends, sun and wind. Listen, listen, listen. Sun and wind have been old friends for a long, long time. Wind had come to pay sun a visit. They're sitting on the front porch. And as with old friends, you know, they have to disagree about something. So as they're sitting on the front porch just rocking, Wind says to sun, you know, I'm much stronger than you are. And son said, what makes you think so? Wind said, because I am. Well, son let it be, and he just kept right on rocking, but Wind, he wasn't having it. He says, why don't we have a test to see who's the strongest? Son said, what are we going to do? And they sat there rocking, and then Wind saw this man coming down the road. He had a hat on his head and a coat on. Wind says, I bet I can make him take his hat and his coat off, and that would prove that I am the strongest. And so son just kept right on walking, and Wind got on the edge of his seat, and he took in a deep breath, and he blew on the man. Well, the man pulled his coat close around him. Wind took another breath, and he blew all over the man. That man held his hat down on his head, bent over, and kept right on walking. Well, Wind, he sat back, and son said to him, well, let me give it a shot. Son sat at the edge of his rocker, and he looked at the man, and he rocked back and forth, and he started to smile. And he kept right on smiling, and the more he smiled, the hotter it got. He smiled, and that man took that hat off his head and started fanning himself. Well, son broke into a great big grin. That man unbuttoned that coat, took that coat, threw it across his arm, and was fanning with his hat. Son kept right on smiling. Wind said to him, well, I guess you are the strongest. Son sat back in his chair, and he said to him, you don't always have to use force to get people to do what you want. Sometimes all you have to do is smile at them. Well, Wind let out a sigh. That sigh got caught up in that warmth and turned into a gentle breeze. And those two old friends sat on the porch, rocking back and forth, enjoying each other's company as old friends do.